Ray, you got into the wrong fucking business. You need to be taking over this office. You know, you gotta focus more on your education again.
What's up, world? It's Ray E. Back with another message. I feel your struggle. I see it in your eyes. I know you hurt me. And everybody that has approached you has come and taken something away from you. Strong-armed it or with a smile on their face. So I know why you looking at me sideways. But I'm back with another reading today. But first, what you saw was the Sunset Cliffs in San Diego, California. As it pertains to the road less traveled, you know, I've been doing a couple road trips the last few weeks, and it's been giving me some time to clear my mind and really balance myself and ask myself the important questions that I can't on a busy schedule that has to please others. The second part there was, you know, a clip from the full clip that I'm gonna play a little bit later in the video. And it all connects into what I want to do or what I want to provide or offer. Because I don't think many people I don't think many people have seen the things, and then I don't think a lot of people, if they have seen a lot, I'm sure they've turned that into success, or if they've been successful and they're unsuccessful, they want to hold that to their chest as well. So, I mean, I'm here today because you never know what might happen today. You never know what might happen tomorrow. And as I have quoted there, you know, your knowledge just sitting in your brain or in a book somewhere is good to nobody. And I don't know how to get my foot or feet off the ground, so to say. So, I mean, I just put it here. You know, this is my introduction to the world, even though I wanted to write first, but I'm inspired. And, of course, time is always of the essence. And when it pertains to Inception, you know, there's a war for your narrative. There's a literal war. Even though it's mental, there's a literal war going on for your narrative, to own your narrative. if it's worth any value, and if you are a threat to their narrative, as Saito was a competitor to the other guy. So, the road less traveled. There was a quote from this book that I saw at work. My job used to post quotes from, I guess, prominent figures in the company, and this one caught my eye. It really relates to my story, and I think it relates to a lot of the stories that I've come across, especially, as an adult male, living alone in Arizona. So, the book is called The Road Less Traveled, A New Psychology of Love, Traditional Values, and Spiritual Growth by M. Scott Peck, MD. I'm not going to read much, just the intro and the quote. The book starts out saying, "Tomorrow, a stranger will say with masterly good sense precisely what we have thought and felt all the time." Ralph Waldo Emerson, Self-Reliance. The most common response I have received to The Road Less Traveled in letters from readers has been one of gratitude for my courage, not for saying anything new, but for writing about the kind of things they had been thinking and feeling all along, but were afraid to talk about. I am not clear about the matter of courage. A certain kind of congenital obliviousness might be a more proper term. A patient of mine during the book's early days happened to be at a cocktail party where she overheard a conversation between my mother and an elderly woman referring to the book. The other woman said, "You certainly must be very proud of your son, Scotty." To which my mother replied in the sometimes tart way of the elderly, "Proud? No, not particularly. It didn't have anything to do with me. It's his mind, you see. It's a gift." I think my mother was wrong in saying that she had nothing to do with it, but I think she was accurate. My authorship of The Road was the result of a gift on many levels. And Section 1, is called Discipline. The first chapter is titled Problems and Pain. Life is difficult. This is a great truth. One of the greatest truths. It is a great truth because once we truly see this truth, we transcend it. Once we truly know that life is difficult, once we truly understand and accept it, then life no longer is difficult. Then life is no longer difficult. Because once it is accepted, the fact that life is difficult no longer matters. Most do not fully see this truth that life is difficult. Instead, they moan more or less incessantly, noisily, or subtly about the enormity of their problems, their burdens, and their difficulties, as if life were generally easily, as if life should be easy. They voice their belief, noisily or subtly, that their difficulties represent a unique kind of affliction that should not be, and that has somehow been especially visited upon them, or else upon their families, their tribe, their class, their nation, their race, or even their species, and not upon others. I know about this moaning because I have done my share. And that pretty much slapped me in the face. Not really, because when I talk about my issues, I'm not asking for anything from anybody. It's just, sometimes it's just better to talk about it. It's just better to talk about it and get it out there. And then from there, you just like, I can handle it. I know that we all have our issues. That's why, sometimes that's why I speak my issues. Sometimes it's therapy to get it all out. But it's more acceptable to be done in private or done, in a forum as opposed to in real life or unannounced. Life is hard. Life is hard, period. But it's not, the buildings or whatever, It's not the place where we're at. It's what we're doing. And I think we're bored and we have so much work to do. But as far as the road less travel goes, as far as my life and what I want to relate to you all, without the long pause, just remain persistent. Remain persistent. I think that when it comes down to race, it's not just about color. It's not a race just about color, because you can be anywhere. You could be driving, just minding your business, and you might pass somebody and then they pass you off fast, or you could be at the light minding your business and then somebody come revving their engine or jump in the line. You could pass somebody in the mall and then they want to walk off fast past you. In a race, the people in front of you, the gatekeepers, so to speak, or just the people ahead in the race, ahead in life, we gotta remember that sometimes they throw monkey wrenches in grown folks' plans too. As a child, you always hear that kids are always told by adults that they can't do certain things. We got to remember as adults that happens as well. And for all the places I've been and when I look back, all the things that, were there to trap me, were there to hurt me with the smile on my face. I always, I was in those situations where you're stuck and you're trying to make it out. It's hard, you gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with it. But if you have goals, if you have, a purpose, things that you're working on, then those are the things that you remain focused on. Because if you don't, you'll be liable to temptation, and temptation isn't necessarily what you think it is, as far as sex or making the wrong choices. You could even be so bored that you want to commit suicide. A lot of times, that's just what it is, boredom. Not that you're not that you're not in pain, because we are all in pain, right? It's just that rejection, that separation from that attachment. You don't know how you're gonna live. dare I say, parasitic. When speaking of myself and the attempts that I made on my own life, but I'm here to tell you today, that's not the route that any man should take, because for a lot of reasons, but that is the ultimate validation on one end. And you don't know what strings were being pulled for that to happen, but now you don't know who can use that event to catapult their life. Because left and right, people are making money off of dead people. But it's not even about the money. Like, it could be a pity come up as well. You're going to go through things, man. Like, you're going to go through things unless you realize that the only time you go through things is when you're connected to other people. There is a small window for some of us, maybe anywhere from 5 years to 40 years, where you have the money, the ability, and the time to do the things that you want to do. I can't speak for everybody. Some people just get away through life without knowing themselves. But I don't think you can really do what you want to do until you know yourself. Are you really happy if you don't know yourself? And while researching this quote, I couldn't find the quote on our website, but I was able to find another article about the book, and the first bullet of leadership was knowing yourself. Know thyself. Very important. Very important. And I'm grateful to have a better understanding of myself, not because of anything that I've been through, but to go through it all and know that I was right about a lot of the intuition that I was feeling about the attacks that were being made on me, whether it was in house, right in my face, or long distance, online or something like that. So, I'm more sure of myself. I'm more sure of the things that I feel, and sometimes you don't know you're getting burnt until you see what's burning you, or till you see that burn. You were feeling that. So as soon as it starts to light up again, then you know to move your hand. So I'm gonna play the video, and I hope you guys have the time to sit and listen, maybe take some notes. Life is good. Life is good, and I'm here today. Like I said, no matter what happens tomorrow, if you have a purpose, if you haven't dug yourself into a hole or a corner or one dimension, you know, you leave yourself with options, and you come from many different walks of life, you know, and you can understand it all. So just for me, it'll just be who wants to listen, you know, because I do understand that things I say are taken differently depending on the situation, or depending on the person or how they're feeling. So I don't know. You know, when someone's trolling you, they think everything that you're doing is trolling them. When someone's talking bad about you, they think everything you do is talking bad about them. And even so after that, like, once people have invested so much and they feel like the stock is tanking, they just take. They just take, you know. So, and that's the thing about the road less traveled, emotional blackmail. It's like once you make a mistake in certain situations, like, it's already known. Like, even when I was in the military, like, I was good. Like, my PT scores was 300, 290. You know, I was able to skip PT. My PT was so good, you know, and everybody loves you when you're going to schools and making the leadership look good. But as soon as you mess up, everybody turn on you. Everybody turns on you. Like I said, you know, in a video recorder, I had one man there for me, like in my face. Jose Perez, I appreciate you. He drove around with he had a white Ford Explorer, and he had like first Philippians 4:13 on his back windshield. And my whole leadership wanted to get rid of me, man. And I'll never forget it. We was there at the motor pool doing some paperwork or whatever. And Sergeant Perez was there. And he was, you know, just inquiring about my situation, and the sergeant there was just telling him, like, yeah, they're going to try to get me out or blah, blah, blah. And he was, because me and Sergeant Perez played basketball together, so he saw, you know, everything, like my raw emotion, everything, but he know deep down inside that I'm a good man, I'm a good person. He just told me to channel it. And, you know, and even then, he was still there sticking up for me. And my command, they were there. They made it tough for me. They made it tough for me for a while, but when it came down to, you know, giving me a chance, they stuck up for me. They stuck up for me. And that's what it seems like. Like, don't get bent on having everybody in your corner. I think if you're a good person, that person that matters will somehow, some way appear and and help you through, guide you through, open that door for you. You know, it's weird because we all enjoy a feel-good story. A good comeback story. But it seems like it takes for you to leave and go away and come back for people to see a difference. A major difference. I don't know. Maybe they can see a slight change. Excuse me while I take a sip of water. Maybe they can see changes in real time, but it doesn't seem like that. It doesn't seem like that for long. Do you change? Do you revert back? Or do they start needing again? Many situations are why I'm here right now. To understand that people who came to me crying, crying for a place to stay, crying for love and affection and all these things are behind your back, laughing, giggling. And you're literally dealing with kids, man. Literally dealing with kids. But when dealing with little girls, what's the response when you yell at them or try to discipline them after a certain age? It's just going to be all bad. I was just sitting up in my bed the other day and I was imagining the many different ways this whole thing could have gone over the past few years. I'm here because I'm grateful. I'm here because I'm so grateful. I don't know if somebody was protecting me from being a dumbass, or did it just reveal the even more of the situation because of the incident I'm in now? Nobody knows that this person came back for 2 weeks. And during that time, I was a father again. But I was trying to communicate with them, and make them feel comfortable. But it left me vulnerable. I shared with them the paperwork that said I could get up to a year, all of this, and then that's when they came back and tried to create, which was cool, and, try to play the game for 2 weeks until, I got tired and I didn't want to play with her after being a father, after working, in that impossible situation. So they came back, tried to create another situation, and instead of getting a year, I got 2 months. And I just ask myself, how many people, if you put them in my same position, with my same resources, how many would be standing here today? I don't even believe that I'm standing here today. But at the same time, I know I have so much more to offer. And this is why I'm here digging, you know. Like, really, who? I guess I'm just saying too much. I guess I'm saying too much. It's a road less traveled, absolutely. This is only for me. That's why I don't worry about what other people are doing. Only as it pertains to me. I know I'm being plotted on. I know I've had things stolen. I know I've got fake pages and all of those things out there. That's fine, man. I've already said whoever could be turned, whoever could be corrupted, is going to be corrupted and turned without my convincing. You know, they want to play too. I'm real all day, and if you can take my story and do a better job with it, please do. Please do. Were you gonna you gonna make a movie about never mind that. Never mind. But I'm trying to open up. I'm trying to make myself more available for those who may need me, but not for those who abuse me. Those who just want what they want from me without caring about my well-being. Those days are done. I don't care if you have my son or not. If people don't care about your well-being or your situation, then you have to do what's best for you, and that's the main thing that I've learned over these years, because putting other people first will leave you at a detriment, and you're wondering why you're going through all these things, and they're sitting there snickering because they got a hand in it. It's been a long journey, and I don't see it getting any smoother. Not for a while, but I have my eyes set on the prize, and I'll just be another voice, man, in the community. I'm not here for the drama. I'm just here, you know, to share my experiences, and in doing that become a more stand-up man, you know, and trying to live the life that I'm aspiring to live. And with that being said, that's why I'm playing the whole thing. You know, I've of course, people have seen my comments and they've seen some things that I've said or whatever. And with that, I do lapse, but I don't take lightly to being targeted. As a man with ambition and career, cities and social media, big cities and social media, allow for men to get preyed on, and everything you love, all your friends. So it's like society forces you to be fraudulent. If you're connected to fraudulent people, you have to kind of like hide. And then in doing so, people just seem to associate everything you do with being sneaky or being a player or playing people, finessing people, scamming people. So they get to make the narrative of you. They're watching you, but for all the wrong reasons. Like I said, man, I hope you guys can gain something from the video or from the playing, from the recording, and I'm gonna listen too. Peace in advance, and catch you guys on the next one. Later.
Thinking about a Yamaha. I'm thinking about a Yamaha. Get away from all the camera. I'm over it, don't wanna fantasize. Ladies round the corner ride. It hit me right between the eyes. It's funny when they switch and pick a side. Ain't nobody gotta go through what I'm going through, no. But it seems like they all know what I'm supposed to do, so let's switch bodies for a day. You could be me and I could be you. Juggle the pile of shit that's bound to come through. You can have it, since it's automatic.